Imagine this: Drake, Will Smith, Tyler Perry. Three of the biggest names in entertainment. Three legacies that define music, film, and media for decades, now entangled in explosive lawsuits that could shake their empires from the inside out. From federal RICO charges alleging gambling fueled streaming feud, to hotel room horrors in Las Vegas, to multi-million dollar assault claims aimed straight at one of Hollywood's most powerful moguls. And all of it is unfolding at the same time. These aren't fan rumors, these are real lawsuits, real filings, and real allegations sitting on court dockets across Virginia, LA, and Georgia. Let's start with Drake. On December 31st, 2025, while the rest of the world was counting down to midnight, a federal class action lawsuit landed in the Eastern District Court of Virginia. The plaintiffs are two Virginia women, LaShawna Ridley and Tiffany Hines. The defendants, Drake, Adin Ross, Stake.com, State.us, and the promoter George Nguyen. George, who allegedly manages DJ Academic's social media pages. The accusation is that Drake and his company used the online gambling platform Stake and its tipping system to launder gambling proceeds into fake music streams. Let me break down that for you, because RICO isn't just a cool legal buzzword. So RICO is the Racketeer Influenced and Corrupt Organizations Act. It was designed to dismantle organized crime. You need to prove a pattern of illegal acts like wire fraud or money laundering tied to a business enterprise, which in this case the plaintiffs say the enterprise was a partnership between Drake, Adin Ross, and Stake, and that the illegal acts were tied to fraudulent tipping, stream manipulation, and gambling deception. According to the complaint, here's how it allegedly worked. Stake's public tipping feature lets users send cash or crypto gifts during streams, but those tips, prosecutors claim, weren't just fun gestures, they were a cover. Money from gambling winnings was allegedly funneled into these tips, appearing public, innocent, and generous, but then routed into bot networks that boosted Drake's Spotify, YouTube, and Apple Music numbers. Fake streams, fake engagement, real profit. Sounds familiar? The plaintiffs even cite examples: that public $100,000 tip Adin Ross sent to Drake live on stream in 2023. Then the Drizmas giveaway live stream in 2024, where money was tossed around like confetti. But insiders claim it was all looped back into the system to make Drake's songs spike in algorithmic rankings. The complaint also references encrypted transfers between Ross and Drake, massive sums that allegedly corresponded to sudden stream surges and chart climbs. Now, none of that has been proven yet, so this is all in litigation. But the lawsuit argues those events weren't even a coincidence. They were part of a coordinated digital laundering scheme. And if that's true, then the implications are wild. We're talking about potential exposure of financial record, crypto wallets, bot farm contracts, maybe even internal OVO data if discovery gets approved. So the same thing that Drake was suing Kendrick for is now going back to him. The plaintiffs want at least $5 million, trebled under RICO, meaning triple charges, plus any profits Drake allegedly made during the inflated streaming numbers. Damn. So there has been no official response from Drake's camp yet, but if this becomes a certified class action lawsuit, thousands of gamblers and users from Virginia could join in. That's when the stakes, no pun intended, go from millions to potentially hundreds of millions. And this isn't Drake's first courtroom detour either. So remember in 2024, his defamation claim against UMG over Kendrick's Not Like Us was tossed out under artistic expression. You cannot sue if you lose a rap battle that you started. But this isn't about rap or beef. This is federal. So this is a very serious case if it actually passes through litigation and discovery. Now, fans are speculating that this could have something to do with Roc Nation. So remember during Megan Thee Stallion's depositions, they had subpoenaed DJ Academics and Adin Ross. And during those depositions, they did ask about Drake. They also did ask about Stake. They also did ask if Drake was botting his numbers. Now, this botting thing goes way back because it was all the rage throughout 2024. So Kendrick was being accused of botting, but the case was thrown out. We all know that. But if between the two artists, the one whose numbers actually decreased a whole lot was Kendrick, because he lost a lot of listeners on Spotify. And we all know that TDE has a record of botting streams for their artists. This is not news. Even though Kendrick is no longer a part of TDE, he still has some connections with Punch. Now let's move on to Will Smith, and this one reads more like a psychological thriller than a lawsuit. So December 30th, 2025, a day before that Drake filing, another bombshell case dropped. This one was filed in Los Angeles Superior Court by Brian King Joseph, an award-winning violinist. You might remember from America's Got Talent and various film soundtracks. So he's suing Will Smith and Trable Studios for sexual harassment, grooming, retaliation, and wrongful termination. Here's the setup. So Joseph was hired in November 2024 to perform on Will Smith's Based on a True Story World Tour. So this was a hybrid concert and documentary project that had Smith back on the global stage after years of image rehab. You might have seen his posts. He was doing this whole world tour last year, 2024. But according to Joseph's lawsuit, what started as admiration turned into manipulation. So the filings describe Smith allegedly grooming him with flattery. Lines like, "We have a special connection," or "You're different." Then came the isolation. Late night one on ones, personal invites to his suite, blurred boundaries that allegedly escalated into predatory behavior. The breaking part, though, March 2025, Las Vegas. Joseph says he returned to his hotel room to find it ransacked. Door unlocked, his personal items moved, and a handwritten note waiting on the bed. The note reads, "Brian, I'll be back no later than 5:30, just us," with a red heart emoji signed Stone F, end quote. According to the complaint, what Joseph found out next was disturbing. Open beer cans, used wet wipes stained with an unknown substance, a bottle of Truvada, so this is an HIV prevention medication, one of Will Smith's signature diamond earrings, and a backpack with Joseph's name tag. Truvada, a bottle of HIV prevention medication. So he immediately called hospitals. Oh my goodness. He immediately called hotel security. Um, he also called the police department, the Las Vegas Police Department, and his tour management. So a police report was filed, though no criminal charges have been made public. What happened next, he claims, was retaliation. So instead of Will Smith's team protecting him, his team allegedly accused Joseph of fabricating the situation, saying he lied and caused drama. Then just days later, an email he received terminated for unprofessional behavior. Joseph's suit claims this violated multiple California laws, so the Fair Employment and Housing Act, the Labor Code, and both the Bain and Ralph Civil Rights Act, all of which protects employees from sexual harassment, intimidation, and retaliation. So he is seeking damages for emotional distress, lost wages, and reputational harm. The complaint paints a chilling portrait, so there's repeated grooming tactics, comments sexualizing Joseph's art, and a pattern of psychological control. The hotel incident, Joseph says, was meant to scare or shame him into silence after he allegedly rejected Smith's advances. No response from Smith's legal team yet, but for someone who spent years rebuilding from the Oscar slap fallout, this case shouldn't have come at a worse time. Now, 50 Cent is being messy. Yo, this is the second day in a new year, and 50 Cent decides he's gonna, jump on this bandwagon. So I don't know if he's trolling or if he's coming to Will Smith's defense, but he hopped on his IG and he said this. So he posted the article of Will Smith being sued by the violinist, and he said, "What the F is going on? I got a movie. I want Will for. This fool just mad he got fired." So he could be taking Will Smith's side. Yeah. Let me know what y'all think about these cases. Now, to our last case, we're going to be talking about Tyler Perry. Now, in case you've been living under a rock and don't know who Tyler Perry is, so he is a billionaire mogul worth about over $1 billion. He is a studio owner and a media powerhouse. So he is now facing 2 separate lawsuits from 2 different men. So they're both alleging sexual assault and abuse of power. So he received two sexual assault cases last year. So he was served with two of them in 2025. So the first one came in June 2025 from a man named Derek Dixon. So he is an actor who works on Perry's BET drama The Oval. If you haven't watched it, go and watch it. The second one landed December 22nd, 2025 from Mario Rodriguez, an aspiring actor and model with credits tied to Boo, a Madea Halloween. If you haven't watched it, go and watch it. So both stories are distinct, but they're eerily similar. So let's start with Dixon. So his 46-page complaint was filed in Fulton County, Georgia, and later it was moved to a federal court. He accuses Perry of repeated sexual misconduct between 2019 and 2023. Dixon claims it began at Perry's Atlanta mansion during what was supposed to be a career mentorship meeting. He says Perry made unwanted advances, pulling his underwear during fittings, touching his genitals and thighs, and ignoring verbal no's. So he was telling, allegedly, he was telling Tyler Perry no, and Tyler Perry was groping him. So here's how the two met. So he says him and Tyler Perry met at an event back in 2019, and in Derek's words, Tyler picked him out of the crowd and asked for his phone number, suggesting he might have a role for him. Derek says Tyler gave him a small role in two episodes of a show called Ruthless. Then in January 2020, Derek says Tyler invited him to his Atlanta home and he accepted, hoping to build a friendship that would lead to more acting gigs. But according to the suit, while there, Derek drank too much and ended up sleeping in a guest room at his Atlanta mansion. That's where the groping, the thighs, the pulling down the pants started. Then shortly thereafter, Derek says he landed the role of Dale in The Oval, but he claims it was around this time that Tyler also started firing off sexually suggestive texts, including asking what Drew's sexual preferences were and telling him he has sex with men. Dixon then says that Tyler once again invited him to Atlanta later in 2020 and started a sexually charged conversation, like asking him if he likes it rough in bed, and then grabbed Derek by the throat while saying, "Look how excited you just got." He says he pushed Tyler away, and that was the end of the alleged incident. The lawsuit includes years of text messages allegedly sent by both men. Most of the ones Tyler allegedly sent are sexually charged. For instance, one reads, "No straight man would be walking on walks with you or cooking dinner for you unless they wanted to F you. I would F you." End quote. Now he gets a little freaky and he says, "I want you to F the ish out of me and guiltless sex and be my secret." Dixon claims he refused and that refusal cost him work. So roles were allegedly dangled, then withdrawn. When he filed the complaint, he says he was threatened by intermediaries tied to Perry's circle. The lawsuit accuses Perry of assault, battery, negligence, and intentional infliction of emotional distress, seeking over $260 million in damages. Now, Mario Rodriguez's lawsuit was filed in Los Angeles. It echoes the same pattern, but adds years to it. At this point, Tyler should just come out of the closet. Like, really? Anyway, Rodriguez says between 2015 and 2019, Perry repeatedly groped him during auditions and private meetings, touching his thighs, grabbing his butt, forcing lap sitting, and promising fame in exchange for silence. Rodriguez claims that Tyler Perry once wired him $5,000 as hush money. Now, you know how messy TMZ loves to be. So TMZ got their hands on text messages between Mario and Tyler Perry. And I'm not gonna lie, those messages make it seem like Rodriguez is just suing Tyler Perry for the money. So the messages read, "Rather, haven't been feeling okay, confused and a little nauseous. I got blood work. Think it's my teeth. I know it's none of your business. I don't know what I do. I know I promised you I would never ask you for anything, but if it is what I think it is, I don't think I could do it on my own because I barely pay my bills. Scared as F, I don't want to get sepsis like my dad and pass away. I don't even want to mention it because I don't want to make it feel real. Feel sick most days, never told anybody this, but my mom and everybody is starting to notice my broke A. Don't have insurance. I'll never lie to you, but I think that's what's wrong. My dentist is supposed to take care of me in Beverly Hills, but he's in prison for fraud. I've always been healthy, but lately I've been waking up confused and dizzy and a bunch of stuff. I just can't go to the doctor because I can't even afford it. I don't want anything, I just want to be okay, scared brother. Let's continue. Just know that I love you and I thank you for everything. I appreciate you to the moon. You got my Mexican A out of a lot of bad places, and I just want to tell you thank you. I can't buy you anything, but I just want to tell you that your boy right here appreciates you more than anything. Straight from my heart, bro. Nothing I wouldn't do for you, my man. Anyways, enjoy your time, and I hope I see you again soon. Tyler responds, Happy Thanksgiving, my friend. Yep, you've been through it. I'm glad you're doing well. You don't have to give me a thing or pay me a thing. I'm just glad you're good. Then Rodriguez replies, I'm still going through it, but you just know me, man. I'm a survivor, just like you are, and I'm glad you're my friend, and I love you, bro, respectfully. Ciao. See, when you're writing text, there's a reason why we have to punctuate our words, but that's besides the point. These messages, I'm sure, were leaked from Perry's camp because, these messages are not painting Mario Rodriguez in a good light. Now, moving on back to Drake, as this was very strategic. So, earlier this year, a man named Eric Dwayne Collins, better known by his stage name RBX, was name dropping Drake in a lawsuit. So, the suit was filed in California District Court on Sunday night with the rapper and the cousin of Snoop Dogg, RBX. So, he was named as the lead plaintiff. So, while the most eye popping allegations in this suit relate to Drake's streaming numbers, there are no specific accusations of wrongdoing against the Nokia rapper. On the Spotify is named as a defendant, but they had to use Drake's name so that they can get publicity. So the suit claims that billions of Drake's Spotify streams were fake, alleging a substantial non-trivial percentage came from bot networks using VPNs to hide their origins. The filing cites no sources for its data, offers no explanation of how it was obtained, and only mentions Drake by name. So they didn't have any data to say Drake's numbers were being botted. That was earlier this year. So that suit actually went dust. And then they had to follow it up by filing that lawsuit saying, okay, Drake was botting his numbers on Spotify by using stake. So they're forgetting that before the streaming era, Drake would sell close to 1 million copies first week. Name another rapper who's actually done that. Kendrick has never even come close. Now, this article was heavily posted by Rolling Stone, so if you know, you know. And Drake was actually saying that yes, Spotify bots hurt him and other artists, and Spotify did come out and say they have no knowledge of this, they were not involved in it. It was also reported that Kendrick Lamar had the most streams removed from Spotify in the last year, so November 2024 to November 2025. His track Luther featuring SZA lost 235 million streams in a major March 2025 purge, dropping from 500 million to 282 million total plays after detection of bot-driven inflation post the Super Bowl. So that was the highest single track removal for any rapper during Spotify's intensified anti-fraud sweeps, which targeted irregular patterns like VPN masked plays and looped streams. Exactly what they're accusing Drake for, Kendrick was exposed of. Broader catalog hits pushed Kendrick's yearly total removals to around 3 billion. So imagine 3 billion streams being removed from Kendrick Lamar's whole catalog. So while 3 billion streams were removed from Kendrick Lamar's entire catalog, no streams were removed from Drake's entire catalog. In 2025, he was actually the most streamed person on Spotify. I think he made close to $100 million. So yeah, make of that what you will. So here's where things stand. Drake's RICO case is pending in Virginia federal court. Defendants haven't responded, but early motions are expected soon. Will Smith's harassment case awaits a scheduling conference in LA County Superior Court. Discovery could pull hotel footage and emails within months. Damn. Tyler Perry's cases, one federal, one state, are both in their early stages, and Tyler Perry's team actually plans to file motions to dismiss because it really seems like they just want money. None of these men have been found guilty of anything, but all three are facing serious legal battles. And if this case is moved forward, especially Drake's RICO, we might see behind the curtain in ways we have never done before. So if you guys have been watching this far, thank you so much. Really, your support means a whole lot. I've never made a 17-minute video, but I do like diving into celebrity news, especially legal cases. But that is all I have for you guys in this video. And if we have any more news, any new improvements, anything else that comes out, I will keep you guys updated. That is all I have for you guys in this video. Until my next one.